Welcome back to another episode of Dive Addiction. Today we are in Jupiter, Florida, and we're going out with Jupiter Dive Center. These guys are absolutely amazing. If you're ever in Jupiter, Florida, and you're looking for a group to go out with, give them a call. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. The crew was amazing. The dive master pointed out all kinds of sea life as you're going to see in this video. And there's a few twists and turns on this dive, but I'll explain that when we get into the video. Stay tuned. All right. Alright, so we just got in the water and we're getting ready to start making our ascent. Now, Lorena has a little bit of an issue with clearing her ears, so it takes us a little bit longer to get down. I'm sitting here waiting on her so I don't leave her behind. So I figure I'd get you guys some videos of some of the fish in the water column. Just sitting here waiting on her to clear her ears. It takes her a little while, but yeah, no big deal. We'll make it down there eventually. The reef is amazing. I absolutely love reef diving. Drift diving is great. You can see all these sweet little species of sea sponges on the reef. And there's so much marine life. I mean, it's just non-stop marine life. Absolutely beautiful. There's our dive master over there to the left. He did really good on this dive. Now, I did have some issues, and Lorena was having issues. We need to get her into a buoyancy class, as you'll see in some of these spots, like right here where she kicks the reef. There's no reason for that. Just stay in trim. She didn't stop swimming the entire dive. Like, literally no reason. We're on a drift dive. You don't need to kick. Well, I have to keep up with her because she's my buddy, but oh my goodness. It's so nice just to be able to relax and just drift with the current. I'm not ragging on her, but I point out everybody's mistakes in my videos, including my own. And you'll actually see some of the mistakes in some of my upcoming videos from this trip. But there we go again, kicking the reef. Luckily, she didn't break anything. Like, I never seen anything break, but still, you got to make sure that you got your buoyancy under control. There's no excuse for kicking the reef, damaging stuff that takes a really, really long time to grow. It's kind of cool just to see all the fish that school up underneath the reefs. Reefs really provide a safe haven for all these fish, so they're really important to the ocean environment. Studying reefs is really important, and I'm just happy that, you know, in my life that I get to get out and experience this and share it with everybody right here in my videos. Now, this is Scareface Reef. If you're ever in Jupiter, Florida, and you like what you're seeing in this video isn't my best work, but if you like what you're seeing in this video and you want to go check it out, just ask whatever dive charter you're with if they'll take you to Scareface Reef. It was named after a moray eel that had a big scar on his face. I don't think he's around anymore, but that's how this reef got its name. If anybody was wondering why it was called Scareface. There were a few lionfish. I didn't get any in the video. We seen a bunch of Nerf sharks. This was my first time ever seeing a shark, and I was super excited about it. I've never been more ecstatic to see anything underwater than I was to see my first shark. It's like the rite of passage as a scuba diver to actually get to see a shark. And I didn't know how I was going to feel about seeing a shark until I seen him. And I mean, there was no fear there. Those things were amazing. I cannot wait to get back in the ocean and see more sharks. This beautiful marine life. Absolutely amazing. And the video light that I'm using does a great job at adding that color back into this. Because if you're a diver or not a diver, you may or may not know, the deeper you go underwater, this is only about 78 feet, the deeper you go underwater, the less color there is. Everything just gets blued out. Blue is the dominant color underwater. So like all of your reds, purples, oranges kind of gets washed out. So having a light really brings that color back, and you get to see the actual color of this stuff when you have a light. So, I mean, it was really nice to be able to come up and see all this. Now, right now, I'm going back up into the water column because Lorena kind of swam away from me. So, I'm back up into the water column because when you go up above the reef, the current will actually carry you faster. If you look right here in the video, you can see one of those damselfish cleaning off his nest right there. That's a fish. If you haven't watched my 100 dive video at the Blue Heron Bridge, I get some really good close-ups of those. I will link that up here right now. And yeah, I mean, it's really amazing the things that I get to experience because of diving and because of YouTube, because I didn't know what that fish was until in the comments people was telling me that it was a damsel. So I really appreciate all of your guys' comments when you tell me what a fish is, or you know, if you see something cool that you like, you can leave in your comment below. You can put in the timestamp and talk about whatever it was at that timestamp. And I read all of my comments. I absolutely love getting comments from you guys. I learn a lot that I wouldn't know from the comments. So that's another reason I really enjoy doing these videos. It's amazing to me to be able to learn all the things that you guys know, and we're all learning together. Some of my other viewers might not know what some of this stuff is, might be curious. So all those comments are greatly appreciated. We're getting ready to come up on my first shark, I think. Look, the DM is pointing. Look at that. That's my first shark right there. My very first Nerf shark. I was so ecstatic to see this thing. There was no fear here. It looks like he has a leader hanging out of his mouth. You can see the string dragging behind him. So he's been hooked. He's got a hook in his mouth. I did not see that until literally this video. I did not know that he had a hook in his mouth until I was reviewing this video. But now I kind of feel bad. I don't think there was anything I could have really done for him. I mean, I don't think sticking my hand in a shark's mouth is the greatest idea. I know I've seen people do it, but I kind of like my fingers, and they might not be aggressive sharks, but that doesn't make their teeth any less sharp. Alright, so you can see the DM. He was just shining with his flashlight on a fish down here in the reef. Like I said, this guy did an amazing job at pointing out wildlife, marine life, and look at this fish. I'm not 100% sure what that fish is, to be 100% honest with you. It was really cool, the spots on him. I didn't do the best job of getting that one on video. I apologize for that. I really need to work on my camera work a little bit, but I'm learning, growing as a diver and as a videographer, I guess you could call it. So I'm still just, I mean, I'm still blown back by, like I said, this is my first ocean dive off of a boat, and taking in all this marine life. I don't even know where to point the camera. I really don't. There's so much to see. I'm looking around, trying not to move the camera too much around, but obviously not doing the best job of it. But, I mean, there is literally so much to see. All these different species of sponges, and coral, and fish, and sharks. Keeping an eye on everybody around me. And there's so much. But, I mean, it was the best experience you could ever have. If you're not a diver, if this video doesn't make you want to dive a little bit, there's probably something wrong with you. Now, I don't see him point this shark out, but you'll see his fin. I'm not paying attention to him at that point in time. I'm kind of just looking around, checking on my buddy, and really cool sponge right there, but you can see his fin. It was just to the right of that sponge. View that video back a little bit, you'll see that shark's fin. I didn't even see it. But like I said, he did a great job at pointing everything out. Alright, and you can hear right there, he's using his little quacker to get our attention because he's pointing out some more goodness. And this is the behemoth that he points out. That is a nice, really nice sized nerf shark. Beautiful shark. Look at that thing. He's got one of those cleaning fish on him. He's cleaning him. It's amazing the symbiotic relationships that there are in wild, where one species has a dependency on another species and they both benefit from each other. Like, the shark is providing food for that fish is providing a cleaning service for that shark. The symbiotic relationships on a reef are just insane, and that's why lionfish are such a problem, because lionfish come in and they don't have anything that eats them, but they eat so many beneficial fish to the reef that they really are a nuisance. Like, the reef really relies on fish to clean it, and these lionfish just are reproducing at such a rapid rate with no real predators. The only real predator to a lionfish is, well, divers. I would love to come down to Florida and actually go lionfish hunting, but time and money, it'll happen eventually. I will definitely get videos of me hunting for lionfish in the future. So I did have issues on this dive. I actually had my inflator hose O-ring give out on me and it was leaking air. So I just reached over and turned it down whenever I wasn't using that tank, because I am side mount on this dive. So I would reach over and turn that down whenever I wasn't using it. I didn't notice it when I first got in the water, but it wasn't a huge dive ending issue or anything like that, and it really wasn't that bad. I managed my air fairly well, even though on this dive, Lorena ended up going through her air because she's nonstop kicking. She went through her air a lot quicker. So I ended up giving her my long hose to my tank on my right side. I gave her the long hose so she could breathe off that when she hit 1,000 PSI. Now the reason I did that at 1,000 PSI is that way when we made our ascent, so when we decided to cut the dive, she would have enough air to safely do her ascent and her safety stop. Usually, you know, you're going to come up around about 1,000 and then do your safety stop and all that. So that's why I had her on my long hose when she hit 1,000 until I knew that I had enough air to make my last dive, and that was basically about it. So this dive went great, even with the issues. Phenomenal diving. Jupiter Dive Center did us great. This DM is amazing. Like right here, he's getting ready to point out a hogfish. So you guys will get to see this little hogfish. And I had to cut video because of everything that was going on. And I had her on my long hose and everything after this. But at the end of it, when I'm getting ready to tell him we're headed out, I'll leave you guys with a clip of a video I just barely caught of a really nice sight. Again, thanks for liking my videos, commenting on them, and subscribing to my channels. You guys are absolutely amazing, and I love being able to share all of my experiences with you guys, like this lemon shark that I barely got on video. But thanks for watching, guys.